This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it is time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn and his sidekick, John Dinalo. And John, I hope you're not in mourning. You're wearing black instead of brown and orange, you know?
I am, Karen. I am not in mourning at all, but I'm just getting ready for the snowstorm in Cleveland on Saturday, which is the Browns play on Saturday against the New Orleans Saints, and a snowstorm of significance is headed our way. So,
Wow. Yeah.
Why is that? Because it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, get your Christmas shopping done on Friday. So
Everything
you
can be
go.
done
That's
right. That's
right.
Karen. And even Friday is going to be dicey, but Saturday is going to be horrible. So
okay.
let's hope it's not as
Good
bad as
day.
they're
That's
predicting.
right. Good day to stay in and listen to back editions of your favorite podcast, What in the World, with me, Paul Seaburn. Hey, everybody.
You got it.
That's good.
Before the show gets out of hand here, talking about sports, we have a segment for sports, which, like every normal newscast, is at the end. So,
Oh, sorry, forgot that.
anyways, What in the World with me, Paul Seaburn, comes to you every week, every Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. It is Tuesday in Northeast Ohio, and as John Dinalo has mentioned, we're getting ready for a big snowstorm. Beautiful day out today, in the 30s, but scheduled for snow this weekend and freezing cold temperatures. So wear your Santa hat, as I have mine on today. I had to blow the dust off of it. It hadn't been worn in a year, so knocked it up. It's in my closet. My closet is the dusty one. The lovely Donna's closet is always perfectly clean, and before anyone gets any misinterpretations there, she's a wonderful cleaner. Well, how did I get off on this? So let's see. Also in your ear or on the screen is our media mogul, Karen Hale, producer, co-host, and all around great person to have on our side at What in the World. Check out newclevelandradio.net, which is our platform. That Karen has all kind of great podcasts there, besides What in the World. So please check them all out. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on all the great stuff. We're also on YouTube. So there's information on how to get there. Please watch us on YouTube. I occasionally have some photos. In fact, we have some today that go along with the stories. So, get over there and take a look at the photo. Also on the show today is John Dinalo, our host of What in the World of Sports with John Dinalo. Hi, John.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Karen. And hey, audience.
Yeah, and John is celebrating. The Browns did win this week, so we're hoping that that's a trend that we can talk about for a long time. For a few seconds. What in the world? You can get all your Browns news someplace else.
Right. Another Saturday victory for the Browns. Another Saturday.
That's true. It's a rarity. I hope it's not going to be a rarity anymore. So let's see. What do we got going here? I am the head writer and editor at mysteriousuniverse.org. I want to let everybody know about that. I have longer stories at Mysterious Universe, which you can read more about the paranormal, about Bigfoot, UFOs, aliens, weird science, space, things like that. Longer stories. What we try to focus on with What in the World is more the fun news, more unusual news. We give you a place to go for an hour every week where you're not hearing about politics or religion or business. What you're going to hear about at Christmas at dinner. You're not going to get that here. So what we are going to be talking about here, we got a great show lined up today. We've got this is our Christmas show. I should say our holiday show. We'll be very inclusive for everybody who's celebrating whatever holidays they're celebrating at this time. It's our last podcast of 2022. We won't be on next week, so you can catch up on the previous podcast. And we will be drowning in eggnog or something like that next week. But today, what do we have today? We've got, this is great. This is to prepare you for your Christmas parties. I've got cocktail trivia for your office party or for your family gathering. So you can impress your friends with some trivia about cocktails. You want to be ready for that. The world's smartest toilet. We're going to talk about that today. May come in handy. But if you're looking for a Christmas gift, you haven't bought for the person who has everything, this might be the gift for them. For John, a strange Bigfoot story out of Belgium. Wait till you see this one. I have photos. Also for Karen, things you don't want to see in the gym. Karen is our resident gym person. We also have a hugging robot. Very interesting little invention. Hugging robot. And more odd news and trivia. John's got a great holiday version of a sport this week. And then we'll play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the co-host. So real news, sometimes strange, always funny. That's our motto. We try our best to do that. In the meantime, we always have a good time doing the show. So we hope you do too. So let's get right to it. Let's do our time check here so we know what kind of schedule we're on. Okay, let's get started with this one. So England has a new king. If you haven't, I hate to be the person to break the news to you. Queen Elizabeth died. It's been 6 months ago, I think. When are they going to make him official king? Aren't they supposed to have some kind of ceremony? And
right, there's a ceremony that takes place. My understanding.
Doesn't he get a badge or a
There's
throne?
too much conflict going on in the family, so no.
Oh wow!
Probably.
No kidding. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We might mention it a little bit here. But here's
typical family.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. You got that right, Karen. So one of the things that happens when you become King of England or Queen of England is your face gets put on the money, which, so you better have a nice face. Which brings us to King Charles. Now, they've already unveiled the pound notes that with Charles's face on them, and I want to show you while we talk about those. Let's see if we've got it here. Oh no, that's our promo. There's the lovely king.
Oh,
he's
striking. It's kind of a striking photo of him, actually.
Yeah, very distinguished, I would say.
Yes,
King Charles III. I don't know if it says that anywhere on the bill. So there's a 5 pound, a 10 pound, a 20 pound, and a 50 pound note, and they're labeled specimen because they're not officially out yet. They won't be out until 2024, which I thought was interesting.
wow.
Yeah. The reason why, if you're curious, it takes that long to convert the printers to make the bills longer so that Charles's ears can fit on the bill.
Oh,
Look at how big they are. Come on now.
wow, that's a zinger. Wow.
What did the alternative would be to have fold-out bills so that you could fold to the left and to the right and have his ears on the fold-outs, and you don't want that. So they're just making the bills bigger, so he fits on it. So if you have the Queen Elizabeth II bills, they're still good. Even when Charles comes out with his, hers will still be good, still be accepted. However, if you happen to look at one of your bills and it has a picture of Prince Harry on it, that's a counterfeit.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a counterfeit. In fact, in England, a bill with Harry's picture on it is called "Not Worth a Chuck."
Okay, we'll give you that one, Paul.
Poor Harry. I don't think he's ever going to get on one of the. He's not going to get on it. He might be on a most wanted list. That's about the only place where he's going to end up. And that's all we're going to say about that. You can watch that on Netflix. Well, you have to pay. What in the world is free? You got to pay for Netflix. I just want to point that out.
We are free.
There you go.
That's in more ways than one.
Really? What other ways are we free, John?
Leave it up to the audience's interpretation on that. Let's leave it at that.
All right, let's take Chucky down here for a minute here because I don't have any photos for a while here. Okay, so this is since we're in the Christmas spirit here. I've got my hat on. I've got my alien Christmas shirt on there. There we go. So that means that we're going to talk about something Christmassy. So this is, you're at the Christmas party, office Christmas party, if you're still going into the office, or family gatherings, and maybe in the neighborhood, and the conversation starts to lag, and you want to pick it up, maybe with some interesting and unusual Christmas trivia. I've got it for you. This is it. So this is a little trivia to liven up your party. Now, I'm going to start the way I would start this conversation with we're going to pretend that Karen and John and all of you listening are at the party. So I would say, do you know what the origin of the word cocktail might be? Do either of you know?
No idea.
Drink, of course, right?
I do not.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to fill you in on it. This will help you out at your next trivia contest. So the word cocktail dates back to 1798 in London, England. 1798, London, England. Newspaper had an article where it talks about a practice known as gingering. Okay, so ginger ale, you think there must be a link. Turns out what gingering has to do with, which was described in the story, there was a man who was trying to sell an old horse. And he wanted the horse to look younger than it actually was. So what he did was he took a piece of ginger and he peeled it, and then he stuck it up the horse's butt. And what that did was it made the horse's tail stand up and swish back and forth, and it made the horse act a bit livelier than it normally does, which is very understandable with a piece of ginger up your butt.
I'd say.
Raw ginger. So the term for lifting your tail, for when a horse lifts its tail when it's excited, is called cocking the tail. So that's what the ginger did. It made the horse cock his tail. It also made the horse say neigh, and then neigh effing way, because it didn't want any more ginger up its butt. And Karen, before you ask, this does not work with old husbands. So, in case you were thinking that, gee, this sounds like a good idea. I have a photo if you're interested. No, I don't. I don't want to gross anybody out. I don't have a photo. So what does this have to do with drinks? Well, bar owners found out that if you have an old bartender and you stick some ginger up his butt, no, that's not it either. Now, there's an old drink. I know my mom used to enjoy having one over the holidays called the highball. And a highball is ginger ale and whiskey. That's pretty much the easiest drink in the world that there is besides beer. Ginger was thought to add pep to a drink. So that was the original reason why bartenders back in the 1700s, 1800s, especially when the water wasn't that pure and the whiskey wasn't that good, they would add some peppiness to the drink by shaving some ginger or even putting a whole stick of ginger in the drink. It works so well, and this is true. It works so well. A lot of people would drink alcohol with ginger in it as a pick-me-up for breakfast, which is which basically was pick me up off the floor, I got to go to work. To kind of pick me up, that was. But that's where the word cocktail comes from. Now, where the various cocktails originated is stuff for another discussion. YouTube is full. YouTube and what's that other one? Wikipedia are full of stories about how cocktails got their origin. Look up Sex on the Beach. That's always a good one. Oh, there goes John. John just left the show. No, I meant later, John.
Good one, Paul. Good one. Okay.
All right. So here's something else to talk about at the party. Kohler, the people who make bathroom fixtures, has come out with a new smart toilet. So who knew that a toilet had to be smarter than it already is? How smart is it, you may ask?
How smart?
Karen, good. It's so smart, it has Alexa built into it. Alexa from, I forget who, is that Google's? Yeah, that's Google. Siri is the other one. Siri is Apple, I think.
Yeah.
So it has Google's
Yep.
assistant, Alexa, built right into it. So while you're sitting there, you can say, Alexa, do I have enough paper? Alexa, tell me a moving story.
Oh, that was good. That was.
So this is, so if you're interested in buying, John, if you don't have something for your lovely wife and she might be interested, Kohler calls this the Kohler Numi, N-U-M-I, Kohler Numi 2.0 smart toilet, on sale now at toilet stores near you. That I guess that would be
Retail outlets or
Home
whatever.
Depot, I don't know, plumbing sources for $11,500. $11,500. Now, you may ask, what do I get for $11,500 besides a toilet and an Alexa, which I can already get on my phone or on my smart speaker? It has it has lots of LED lights and speakers for Alexa to talk to you. It has a bidet, which is becoming very popular these days. It has ultraviolet lights for cleaning the bidet, which apparently is important, and it has control over the temperature, position, and pressure of the bidet, which apparently are useful things to be able to do. Obviously, I don't have a bidet. I have a garden hose through the window from outside.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's a Polish. It's from my lovely wife. It's a Polish bidet. Or for those who've lived in Cleveland for over 50 years, it's a certain ethnic bidet. Anyways, what else does it do? Oh, it also gets there's a mister, not a Mrs., a mister, a water mister inside the bowl that sprays mist to reduce there was a video making the rounds this week about all of the residue that comes out of your toilet if you don't close the lid when you flush it. So this is to take care of that by spraying mist so that it all stays in the commode. I know, Karen, I know this is, but $11,500. You want to get your money's worth.
Hey,
I would say.
Also,
friends of mine in Michigan put in one of the self-cleaning toilets.
Oh, really?
And before my mother passed away, they had to invite my mother over to see their toilet.
Wow.
I'm not sure what was so exciting about it, because when I saw it, it just looks like a toilet. But yeah, it cleans itself.
It didn't speak. I would be impressed with a toilet that speaks. This one also, but wait, there's more. It also has auto flushing. It has auto deodorizing. A heated seat, John. A heated seat.
Yeah.
Well, that's a plus. That's a plus. That's going
our
to the right
friend, our friend of the show and an old friend of both of ours, Dan, down in South Carolina. He might still be in Cleveland if he had a heated seat on his toilet, because you know how much he hates the cold weather.
Oh, that's true. He does hate
a
the
heated
cold.
seat.
Right.
A heated seat, and this is the part that I like the best. This almost closed the deal for me. An air dryer for your tush.
Nice.
Yeah. How about that? The lid also automatically opens and closes. So all of that, when you add all that up, $11,500 doesn't sound like that much. If this were a Popeil commercial,
it's a drop in the toilet.
Oh.
If you act now, we'll throw in. Oh, it also has an emergency backup flushing sensor, which is when Alexa says, "Oh my God, did you just eat at Taco Bell?" That comes in handy. So I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. And I'll ask everybody out there, would you spend $11,500 for a toilet with all of those features on it? John, how about you?
I would not.
Not a chance. Not even for the heated seat and the air dryer.
The heated seat is a plus, but overall, I don't know. I would not.
But heated seat, I just wait until somebody else uses it and then I run in real quick. Karen, how about you?
I had a problem paying $250 for a new toilet.
Oh,
You
there
think
you
I'm
go.
going to spend, thousands? No, I'll talk to myself.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I'll talk to or better yet, to simulate it, record your voice on your phone and then have your voice say, "Oh, you're looking lovely
Yeah.
today, Karen." While you're anyways, I'm not even going to say
Yeah,
it.
while you're.
So here's the thing that bothered me. We're so security conscious as a culture. We think that people are watching us or machines are watching us everywhere. So now you're going to go into the bathroom and you're taking Alexa in there with you. Now, Alexa knows you're in the bathroom, which means Alexa knows that you're talking to her on one of those smart toilets, which means that Alexa knows you're a sucker for buying stuff that's way too expensive. So she's going to start reading ads to you while you're sitting in there. Did you know, John, you could get a chainsaw for only $15,000, but it's connected to a drone and it will fly around the woods behind your house. And
I don't know, Paul. It sounds like you've created a monster here with this purchasing a toilet like that. Oh my gosh.
What I would like, here's what I think, and Karen, you hinted at this. I think that there should be a Roomba that comes in after you're all done with the smart toilet and let the Roomba clean everything up.
We're not talking about Roombas today because my Roomba is back in service.
Oh, it is back in service, so it's not on strike.
Oh, yeah, it
okay.
Doesn't like cleaning anymore.
So it doesn't. Oh, it's back. It's being serviced. I get it. So it is on strike.
Yeah.
Oh, worse. It's in. It's. Oh, that's. I won't bring that up. I know how much that costs. I would like for the Alexa to play music. So people outside don't know what you're doing. In fact, I tried to do that once with an Alexa speaker, but she kept playing Splish Splash, which defeats the whole purpose of why I wanted her in the first place. So anyway, all right. So John, so we'll move on. We're going to move on for a second to John's favorite subject, which is Bigfoot. And regular listeners of the podcast know that John always wants to see nice, clear photos of Bigfoot. Well, I've got a nice, clear photo. Two, in fact, John, two nice, clear photos.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, Paul. Okay.
Yeah. Now, Karen may remember, we talked about this particular Bigfoot quite a while ago, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe back when we first started in at Joe Max Donuts. Good place to go for your Christmas donut selection, by the way. So let's see if I have a picture. So this is let me just put the picture up here for John because I know he's just dying to see the Bigfoot. Okay, there's Big Chuck over there. Here we go. Okay, so this is
oh my God.
This is a Bigfoot photo from Belgium. It's actually from Ghent, Ghent. Maybe it's pronounced Ghent. I'm not sure. Ghent, Belgium. This particular Bigfoot was photographed at the Harry Malter Park in Ghent, Belgium. And for those of you who can't see it, it's huge. It's probably 20 feet tall. So that's unusually tall for a Bigfoot. And it also has extremely large and unusually shaped breast.
Torso is
that they're basically they're slides. This Bigfoot is a ride at the amusement park. If you look behind it, there's up there, which is putting ginger in its butt, by the way. It's for climbing up the top to the top of Bigfoot and then choosing either the left breast or the right breast, where you can then slide down a slide to the ground and run around back again and do it all over again. It actually has a name, and if you haven't guessed it by now, it's called the Bigfoot Nipple Slide. So I'm not sure that that's the correct name for it because you really don't see any nipples. Do you, John? I don't know. John's he's analyzing it very closely.
Well, I am analyzing it, and obviously it's a clear photo, but It's not a live Bigfoot.
Oh, that's right. It's not
No,
allowed.
it's not. Wait.
Technicality.
Bigfoot is, well, he is not alive. First of all, he's not moving. Okay, clearly.
It's a
And
she, by the way. It's a
he's
she.
actually a stiff. I mean, he's
Yeah.
really a stiff. So again,
Ah,
I'm just offering that. I just have
Well,
to.
I'm just, it shouldn't be called a nipple Bigfoot, by the way, because you don't see any nipple. My idea would be to put a bucket on my head and then go down the slide head first. So the bucket would look like the nipple when it came out. And that would
That's a little elaborate.
Oh.
legitimacy to the
That's a
photo.
little elaborate, Paul. Oh.
Well, I think for something like that, I think the show should provide me a trip to Belgium, and we could do a live performance there of me sliding down the Bigfoot nipple slide with a bucket on my head.
that sounds like a great idea, Paul, but we
Yeah.
need a sponsor first.
Oh, we need well, maybe the bucket people would be a sponsor. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to see.
Sounds good.
I can get one for 39 cents at the dollar, or $1, I guess, at the dollar store. I don't know. Does the dollar store have anything for less than $1? But it's another different show. Okay. So, so John, since you brought up the fact that this is not a real Bigfoot, what has happened is that the real Bigfoot in Belgium have heard about the fact that there's a topless Bigfoot with her nipples out in this amusement park. And they caught a photo of one of the Bigfoots looking over the fence to catch a glimpse of this very sexy Bigfoot. So here's Bigfoot peeking over the fence. And look at those eyes. I mean, eyes are bugging out of his head. I wish I had one of these when I lived in Texas, because I had a wooden fence that would have been perfect to drive my neighbor crazy.
Well,
So anyways,
his eyes.
it's a photo of a Bigfoot cutout peeking over the fence.
Excuse me, he's transfixed, obviously. Look at that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be, John, if you were a big?
Yeah, well, that's something you don't see every day. Let's put it that way.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Better than a Bigfoot cocktail. That's what I say. Okay. So we love talking about world records on What in the World. So I've got at least one world record here. This one comes from Texas. Oh, I have two world records. This one comes from Texas. 45-year-old man in Texas broke the Guinness World Record for the largest collection of video games in the world. Here's a picture of him. He began collecting.
Wow.
Began collecting when he was 10 years old with a Sega Genesis game, and now owns 24,268 unique individual games valued at $2.1 million.
Wow.
So, yeah, amazing. What he, they were interviewing him, and they asked if he had any advice for kids or young adults who wanted to get into collecting. And he said, I just have one piece of advice, that if you tell a lady that, you have $2.1 million worth of video games, it's not a good pickup line. They're not interested at all. So this guy, he holds the record not only does he hold the record for the largest total number, he also holds the record for brand names. He has the largest collection of Xbox game, largest collection of Sega's, largest collection of Nintendo, largest collection of PlayStation games, and the largest collection of video games overall. And they asked him again, and he said, no, that doesn't impress the women either. Here's the thing that I couldn't believe. They asked him, how do you decide which one to play? And he says, I don't even play them anymore. He says he has so many of them now that he no longer plays video games. His hobby is collecting them and video game accessories. He doesn't even bother playing them anymore, which is not something you want to put in your dating profile. That you don't even, you have 24,000 video games, but you don't play them. You just collect them. You know what they say in the dating world when somebody tells you that? They say swipe. You're gone. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
but if the young ladies are smart and figure out how much this is all worth, I mean, hook up with this guy and, someday you may be a rich widow.
Do you? Oh, maybe they'll fall on him. Is that what you're saying? While it looks like he's climbing the wall.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
that's advice for the modern woman from Karen Hale. There we go. Little new feature on What in the World.
You got it.
Okay, so now we already had the Alexa toilet here. Here's another gift for the person who has everything. So this is for the person who has everything but a floating jacuzzi with a gas fireplace. If you know somebody who wants one of those, I've got one for you. It's called, here's a picture of it, the Spa Cruzy. And it's a floating jacuzzi because it's made, it's actually a boat and a spa. This one is in the shape of a kind of a spade type of, almost a heart. It's filled with water, hot water, bubbling jacuzzi water. It also has a gas fireplace, which you can see the chimney on it right there.
Wow.
Yeah, filled with lovely ladies and gentlemen. Meets all the government boating regulations, even though it's not a boat, and sells for the incredibly low price of $50,000.
Yeah.
How about that, John? Are you in the market for one of those?
No, not me.
No.
That is a unique product there. Of course, it's very unique.
Yeah.
And for the cost, that's a lot of money.
I'll tell you what, if you got an extra 2 or 3 million more, you can buy the yacht. That they
goes with it. Right.
buy the whole yacht. Yeah. Sadly though, they were testing it, one of the earlier models, as they were floating in a big body of water. It accidentally ran into a boat filled with ice and beer and sank. So, Leo DiCaprio could do another movie based on that. But so friends of the show know that, and regular listeners know that we are in Northeast Ohio. There's a body of water just north of us called Lake Erie, and there's a river that flows into Lake Erie called the Cuyahoga River. Now, John and Karen, can you imagine floating in a spa cruzy down the Cuyahoga River towards Lake Erie? Does that appeal to either one of you?
No, Karen, you answer first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
No?
This is ridiculous.
For people, I think I have another photo of it, by the way. Speaking of ridiculous, so here you can see the
look at that one.
You can see the fireplace burning, yeah. And someone pointed out, I put this on Facebook, and they pointed out that if it's a boat, you're supposed to have life jackets on or life preserver. There is a life preserver hanging off the back. So
I see that,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
My idea, John and Karen, and everybody out there who's familiar with the Cuyahoga River, is that this is the perfect boat for the Cuyahoga River. Because if the river ever catches on fire again, you can help put it out by bailing the jacuzzi water into the flames.
But they have a fire on the boat.
It's a mirror.
You had to point that out.
It's a miracle reality. Don't worry about it.
I had to point that out. That's right, Karen. There is the worst thing is, okay. So maybe not. So instead you keep going down the river into Lake Erie. Now, once you're in Lake Erie, you can drop a line out there, and you've got a place to keep your walleye fresh after you catch them until you get back to the dock.
That's true. That? That's true. Very
in fact, it's hot water. You could cook them while you're there. But make some walleye stew.
Wow.
Anyways, so we'll move on from that. So this is for you, Karen. This is I know you're a designated gym person here.
Sure.
You've been to a gym before sooner than any of the rest of us have. So this is Australian bodybuilder Helmut Strebel holds the unofficial title of the world's most shredded man. So take a look at Helmut here. There's Helmut right there.
Oh.
He's lifted weights for years, and he's reduced his body fat to a mere 4%. So for those of you who can't see these 4 photos, he looks like a walking anatomy model.
Yes.
His muscles are so well defined that you can see every fiber of them bulging through his skin, almost as if he doesn't have skin.
That can't be healthy.
No, they're real. They're okay. Can't be healthy. I know it's not healthy. His six pack is so big, he gets stopped at stores because they think he's stealing beer. Look at him. Look at him. So what he said that the hardest part is getting down to the 4% body fat. This guy, take a guess. How old do you think he is?
49.
49. Karen,
Yeah,
how much?
I was gonna say in his 50s. Yeah.
In his 50s. Karen, closer. He's 54 years old. 54 years old. Arnold Schwarzenegger saw this guy at the gym. He took one look at him and he says, I won't be back. He can't compete with this guy. He started lifting weights, he says, when I was a 12-year-old skinny weakling, which caused me to pause and think, when was the last time you saw a skinny 12-year-old? But that's a story for a different show. Now, would you put him on a box of Wheaties?
I would hope not.
John, how about you? You're probably a Wheaties eater.
Wheaties are good. I don't know. I don't know if he would be that popular, to be honest with you.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not Wheaties. Shredded wheat is interested though.
Okay, there you have it.
Okay.
Also Captain Crunch, because he's obviously done probably hundreds of thousands of crunches, right? Yeah. Now, since I brought up Wheaties, let's do a little bit of Wheaties trivia here. I think I got my trivia warning here. First athlete on the box of Wheaties. Any guess on that one, John? I'll give you a hint. Who?
I'm saying Jim Thorpe.
Oh no, good guess though. 1939 was when the first.
How about the guy who played Tarzan?
Johnny Weissmuller, another good guess. Johnny Weissmuller was on Wheaties. So was Jim Thorpe in a tribute box. First athlete ever on a Wheaties box was Lou Gehrig. I think I have a picture. This is not the original, but that's a picture of Lou Gehrig on a commemorative edition of Wheaties.
Okay.
Sure. First, now, when Lou Gehrig was on the Wheaties box, the photos were either on the back of the box or on the side, so that you could use the front to advertise the flakes and to put up there the slogan, which is on the top of the photo: Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions. Then they finally found an athlete who was worthy of being on the front of a Wheaties box. John, this one, if you don't get it, you'll say you'll groan when you hear it. But who do you think was the first athlete on the front of a Wheaties box?
This is a guess. Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan. Okay, I was going to give you a hint that it was an Olympic athlete, which Jim Ryan would.
Jim Ryan was right.
Yeah, actually, it was Bob Richards, whose name was synonymous with Wheaties for quite a number of years. Bob Richards, Olympic pole vaulter. He was the only male to win the pole vault in 2 different Olympics.
If I'm not mistaken, Paul and Karen, wasn't he involved in television commercials in the 60s, advertising Wheaties?
Yeah, that's why I said, you would, as soon as you heard, that's the guy. So
Sure.
He was the first one to be on the front of a Wheaties box. First female on the front of a Wheaties box, Karen. Any guess on that female athlete?
Well, it wasn't me, so I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
John?
Chris Everett?
Chris Everett, good guess. Mary Lou Retton, 1984, which is sad. So it's from 1939, when Lou Gehrig was on, until 1984, there was never a woman athlete on the cover of Wheaties. Frosted maybe would have been better. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, motions. Now, you can have your picture on a box of Wheaties more than once. I didn't realize that. Person who's had their picture on a box of Wheaties the most times, 18 times, think Sports Illustrated. Who's been on Sports Illustrated more than just about anybody? Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan? Okay.
Yes. He's been on so many times, he has one of the flakes named after him. Speaking of flakes, the flakiest athlete to ever be on a box of Wheaties? Venture to guess.
You know who it is.
Who? Dennis,
It's Bruce
Dennis
Jenner.
Rodman. Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. Oh,
Dennis
okay.
Rodman, yes. Now here's one that you know, once in a while they put somebody on who's not an athlete, but whose physical abilities, let's say, are a direct result and a direct example of how good it is to eat Wheaties. Let's see. I think I have Mary Lou Retton here first. Oh, there's Bob Richards. Okay, he's on the front on this one. I'm riding a bike, not doing the pole vault, which is interesting. There's Mary Lou Retton. Okay, so this is a person who's not an athlete but can attribute their longevity to Wheaties, and that would be Keith Richards. How about that?
Well, he does have longevity. Let's put it that way.
It's his birthday. I think he just turned 250 years old.
Yeah, right.
Now, one more bit of trivia, and I didn't know this one. There was a promotion in 1937 sponsored by Wheaties. Wheaties would advertise on the radio because they didn't have television back in those days. And because it was sports oriented, it would advertise on during baseball games, during the broadcast of baseball games. So they held a promotion across the country for the most popular Wheaties radio announcer in the country. Most popular Wheaties. So this is somebody who announces baseball games and also does Wheaties commercials. The winner in 1937, you'll never guess, I'm not even going to ask you, was Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan. He was back then. He was an actor, right?
Sure, he was a sportscaster. Yeah.
Actually, this was before he was an actor. What he did, John, and you may not be aware of this. This was, but I'm sure you're aware of the fact that they weren't always at the game. So what the announcers would do is they would tear pages off of the wire service reports, and they would recreate the game by reading the statistics off of the paper. So he would do that for the Chicago Cubs. He would read the transcriptions of what was going on, and then he would fantasize and make it sound better than it was. Those were the guys that used to have sound effects of the sound of a bat and the crowd.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that actually. Yeah. I knew that, Paul. Wow.
Last bit of trivia, and this blew me away because there's so many athletes associated with Wheaties. Wheaties is actually made from wheat and bran. Now, I don't know if I want to be an athlete and be eating bran all the time. Pole vaulter, poor Bob Richards. Big bowl of Wheaties. He gets ready to run down. All of a sudden, he's yelling, "Alexa, get the lid up! I'm coming in."
Oh boy.
Okay, all right. So while we're on the subject of food, hot new food out of Japan. This hot new snack food. It's a bag of. Wait, I'm gonna. Oh, that's my. Let's see where. I guess I don't. I know I have a photo of it someplace. Let's go through the robot here. Nope, I guess not. I had a photo of it. The slivered almonds and dried fish, hot new snack item out of Japan. It's called almonds and dried fish. But I was thinking it's the perfect thing to put out in a bowl at your Christmas party, and all of a sudden people will be eating your fruitcake. So
No.
I think, but
will.
if you're eating it in your spacruzzi while you're floating down the Cuyahoga River, you need to put a cover on it because the catfish will be jumping in to eat the fish for bait. And anyways, okay, so I want to show that last photo there. This is from the Max Planck Institute for Intelligent Systems. Smart people, you would think, with a name like that. Max Planck Institute for Intelligent System. What they've done is they've created a hugging robot. They call it the HuggyBot 3.0, which means there was a 2.0 and a 1.0. So this is an improvement over those two. Let's take a look at the improvement. There you go. So this is the world's first hugging robot. It's claimed it's the first fully autonomous human-sized hugging robot that recognizes and responds to the user's intra-hug gestures. So that means that if you hug it tighter, it will hug you tighter. If you hug it lower, that it will hug you lower, apparently. Now, we've all gotten a lot of hugs in our day. Um, if you ask me, it may be a good hug, but it doesn't send you a check for $10 at Christmas and on your birthday. That's the best hugger in everybody's book.
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
Right? There you go. So it features a custom sensing system called the Huggy Chest, which incorporates two inflated chambers of polyvinyl chloride to imitate a soft chest. You pay extra and you send proof of your age, it will send you the limited edition Dolly Parton chest. But here's a photo of a lady being hugged by Huggy 3.0. She looks like she's enjoying it, doesn't she? Huggy Bot 3.0. Now, here's a photo of Huggy Bot, who looks like he's enjoying hugging this lady a little too much. They also have it doesn't make any noise. They touted this as a benefit. To me, if you're not moaning and groaning, oh baby, while you're hugging, it's not worth it. So I don't like it for that reason. Secondly, they have a European model which just does air hugs, which I wouldn't pay a whole lot for that. But yeah, so there's HuggyBot really getting into it. I suppose it's available for Christmas if you still haven't found a Christmas present for your friend who has.
Have to get on Amazon. Have to get on Amazon and see.
Oh, you better believe it. Yeah, you better believe it. I'd put a better face on it there too. But so there you go.
Amazon Prime, you'll have it tonight.
I think, the thing that bothers me the most, for those of you who can see the photo, is that it has socks on its arms, on its hands.
Yeah.
So it can't grow.
I was going to bring that up. Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe you know what? Maybe it was a groper, and they didn't have the technology. These smart people at Max Planck couldn't figure out how to stop the robot from groping while it was hugging. So they put these big, heavy woolen socks over the hands while the programmers are in the back, peeing away, trying to update the program so it doesn't grope.
Maybe.
That's my explanation, and I'm sticking.
Well, that's a plausible theory, Paul. That's
plausible. Yeah. Oh, thanks, John. Okay, your check is in the mail. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
All right. So speaking of check being in the mail, and John Donalo, that means it's time. We've reached the end of the weird story, so it's time for John's segment, "What in the World of Sports" with John Donalo. As our good friend Dan, who is visiting us this week from South Carolina, regular listener of the show, pointed out, John always comes up with the weirdest, strangest sports in response to my request to him to find the world's strangest and weirdest sports. This week, I had a special request, and that was to make it a Christmas-oriented or a seasonal, let's say, sport. And sure enough, John found a sport that is seasonal. Perfect for this time of the year. So, John, why don't you tell us about the sport while I line up your first photo?
That sounds good, Paul. Thank you. So, yes, our sport this week does have a Christmas or a happy holiday theme. And again, it's actually a sport that you can sing about in a popular Christmas carol. And it's the reindeer game is the carol.
Oh, Rudolph.
But the sport is reindeer racing.
Reindeer racing. Oh, okay.
Okay. So
that's a sport. Wow.
It's an actual sport, and it's a competitive and widely followed sport in the northern climes of Norway, Finland, and Russia. So picture harness racing.
Okay.
Only the jockeys are wearing speed suit and cross-country skis. The cart is an actual person, and the horse is a full-grown reindeer pulling the person on a fixed snowy course at speeds, ready for this, up to as much as up to 37 miles per hour.
Wow.
Wow.
So here's a photo of one here for those of you watching us on YouTube, and it looks like the person is dressed like a skier. So if the reindeer weren't in the picture, it would look like they're skiing, but there's reindeer in the picture. They're running as fast as they possibly can in front of them, and the person behind him are holding on with a rope, holding on for their dear life. It looks like. At how fast, John?
It goes as many or as much as 37 miles per hour. So
Wow.
think of
37 miles an hour. That's fast. Wow.
think of that. Now, reindeer are called caribou in North America,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and reindeer racing can be traced back to the Sami. The Sami are a native Scandinavian people, and they inhabit the far north of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and also the Kola Peninsula, Kola with a K, of Russia. And
Wow.
the Sami use reindeer for transportation. They use reindeer for fur. They use reindeer for meat, and also a source of cultural pride. Now, reindeer, the animal, they are notoriously difficult to domesticate and train for racing because they are skittish animals. That's their
Yeah.
right. So semi-wild reindeer are raised on farms for food, but some are particularly strong and fast specimens, and those are the actual reindeer that are chosen and bred for their racing abilities. So they're actually being geared, or I should say developed, so they can compete as competitors, in the sport.
Oh, that's
Wow.
that kind of information has got to be spread spread amongst the reindeer. If you don't want to end up as reindeer sausage, run
Right.
really fast.
So you want to end up as a person, end up as an animal that can race. Don't end up as an
Yeah.
animal that
And
ends up as
Here, the last two photos here showed people, spectators lined up along the course, and it
Yes.
looks like they have sponsors here. Each one has it looks like they have patches, just like race car drivers with sponsors on them. So
right.
this looks like a big time sport.
It is a big time sport.
You're
and-
making me feel very sad because you're telling me that reindeer are produced for food. That means somebody might eat Rudolph.
That is possible, Karen. That is very
No. I'd rather see Rudolph, run.
I
Yeah.
think Rudolph would be, if Rudolph wasn't running, Rudolph would be at the starting line.
That'd be a good thing then.
Gentlemen, start your reindeer, and then the light goes on, and I don't
His
know.
nose goes off. You're right.
So here's a
Start
race.
your reindeer.
Well, here's a
Oh, go
race.
ahead, John. I'm sorry.
That's okay, folks. So again, here's here's an example of a race.
Oh,
But
so
the
where do
largest-
they race these reindeer?
so the largest annual reindeer race takes place in Tromsø, Norway, each
Norway,
February as part of what they call the Sami National Day celebrations.
Okay.
Thousands of spectators watch reindeer racers race down a 1.25 mile track on Tromsø's main avenue through the city
Wow.
center. And this is what stores and banks are then closed for the day in honor of the race. Now,
So they don't get run over.
well, sure.
Yeah.
The competition is organized as an elimination cup, starting with qualifying heats where only the winners of each heat progresses through to the next round. The final at the end of the day decides the national champion of Norway. Now, there's also another circuit that is in Finland. And again, a major race on the circuit takes place. It's a 6.2 mile snow track in Levi, Finland. This one is between Finland's 51 breeding cooperatives competing to see which cooperative produces the strongest and fastest reindeer in their herds that year. So there
there's
are
definitely money in this sport.
well, yeah, there's 51
Yeah.
separate groups, that are training their reindeer to compete in it.
Right.
Now, teams in Russia compete in reindeer races in what is called the Narayan Mar, where the Olympic flame it was carried on a reindeer sled to the 2014 Winter Olympic Games that were held in Sochi, Russia, if you recall, a few years back.
Okay.
In the U.S., the annual Iditarod dog sled race in Anchorage, Alaska hosts a winter variation of Pamplona's Running of the Bulls. It's the running of the reindeer.
Oh no.
People gather in heats and sprint down a street pursued by a herd of charging reindeer,
Oh,
dodging the
geez.
hooves and antlers as they run.
Only in Alaska.
Only in Alaska. But at any rate, so that just shows you the popularity of this sport, which is not well known, unfortunately. But if you ever meet a professional reindeer jockey, don't laugh and call him names. He knows far more reindeer games than you do.
You're right.
Aw,
He's
that's
experienced
good,
the
John.
games. Oh, experienced the games. Yeah, it's kind of unique, isn't it, Karen and Paul and audience?
Yeah.
Never really was familiar with this sport at all.
I'll tell you what, this particular photo right here, this was my favorite. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 competitors here in this photo. So that's 5 reindeer running at full blast with 5 people being pulled behind. They could be females, could be male.
Mhm.
Looks like it, if you're into horse racing or anything like that, it would definitely appeal to those who enjoy that kind of sport. So I mean, I thought very unusual sport. I didn't think that I thought about it, John, and I thought, I don't think you and I have ever been that close to reindeer.
I don't think so. It's safe to say.
and yet, I was going through my old photo album and I found a couple of pictures of us participating in something very similar to this back when we were in college. I don't know if you remember, but we found just some regular deer, I guess they were, and we wanted to have get pulled by the deer. And we made the mistake of thinking that, maybe the deer would be more cooperative if we dressed up like Santa Claus. So that's what we attempted to do. We rented a couple of Santa Claus outfits. We found some deer and we attempted to get pulled by the deer. So here's a picture of me attempting to be pulled by the deer. This deer is not cooperating with me at all.
That's skittish. The deer or reindeer they're skittish animals. So there's
That's right. I'm in a dangerous position right here, dressed as Santa Claus, trying to pull a very horned reindeer. John, on the other hand, is always the wise one of the bunch. So he realized right away that you shouldn't be riding behind it. You should be riding on it. And unfortunately, I don't have a photo, but one of our fraternity brothers was kind enough to draw John on top of a reindeer, reindeer disguised as a moose. And as always, John, as befitting of our fraternity, had a big mug of beer in his hand as he's riding the reindeer off into.
It's a nice rendering, actually. I would say it's a nice rendering.
There you go. All right, so that's our holiday sports segment for the week. Reindeer racing from John Donalo. Thanks as always, John, for another great sport.
You're welcome, Paul. Thank you.
Okay, so we have our last sport of the year, and that is Bluff the Co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. For those of you who haven't played before, it's real simple. I have 3 stories similar to the ones I've been telling all week or all afternoon. One big difference: those stories were true. These may be true. They may be a bluff. It's up to Karen, John, and you playing at home to figure them out. Betting is allowed, so place your bets. Karen and John, hands on your buzzers, and let's get right to story number 1. Fans of the beloved 80s TV show Alf have had no luck getting any networks to bring the show back, so they're trying a different approach. Just in time for the holidays, an Alf fan club is selling a limited edition Alf on a Shelf to help bring it back. Each box comes with the actual home address of a Hollywood producer and instructions on how to mail the Alf on a Shelf to them. The hope is that the producer will use it instead of an elf on the shelf, and the elf on the shelf will remind them of the show. And maybe they'll talk to Santa or the head of the studio about getting Alf off the shelf and back on TV. All right, Karen and John, Alf on a Shelf to help bring the show Alf back from the TV graveyard. What do you say, real or bluff?
Well, it sounds like a great idea, but I don't know who it's great for. So therefore, I'm going to say it's a bluff.
Okay, Karen says it's a bluff. John, how about you?
I have a similar view to Karen's. I think it's a bluff also, because I just think it's too far of a reach for that to reach these producers. There's logic speaking again, but that's the way I see it.
Okay. All
That's-
right. So John and Karen both say that the elf on the shelf is a bluff. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, congratulations to both of you. That is a bluff. Good idea.
Okay,
I like
Hey,
this show.
we got
We're
that
getting-
on the right foot here. That's
we're
good.
getting
Yeah.
smarter.
That's right.
Funny-
As time goes on,
funny
it's only taking
show.
us all this time.
All right, so let's not get too excited because we still have to have two more questions to go. Anything can happen. All right, so let's get started with story 2. If you haven't yet found a Christmas gift for your wine-loving friend who has everything, including all the best wines, stop whining and buy him or her a weekend in the world's largest wine bottle. It's an Airbnb that looks exactly like a wine bottle on the outside. However, the inside has 3 bedrooms, a dining room, and a beautiful view from its mountaintop location. The 28-foot-long bottle glows red at night, so make sure you order beef from room service. And bring your own wine because it's not on the menu, so no one has too much and tries to remove the cork from the inside. Okay, so the Airbnb that is also the world's largest wine bottle. What do you say, John and Karen? Real or bluff? We'll start with John this time.
Wow, this is kind of interesting. I'm going to say it's real. It seems like it's spacious the way you described it. Now, the question is, how do they make a bottle that big? So I'm going to say it's real. I'm going to say it's not a bluff. I'm going to say it's real.
Okay, would you stay there?
Just from the unique aspect of it, I think I would.
Okay.
It's real.
All right. Karen, how about you?
It sounds too real to be true, but I'm going to go with real.
Okay, so Karen says it's also true. And I'll ask you if you would stay in it too, but I'm guessing you'd be afraid it would roll down the hill.
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah.
Okay, so Karen says it's real, John says it's real. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say book your rooms now. That's a real place to stay. It's in India, of all places.
Wow. Okay, Karen, way to go.
And I think I've seen a picture of it, and that's
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Great. Well, it pays to pay attention when you're surfing the internet.
There you are. There you are.
Getting ready to play Bluff the co-host. Okay, so let's see. The score is 2-2. Wow, that doesn't happen very often. That means that this is it right here. For all the marbles, that's all we can afford. We'll get right to story number 3. A man in the U.S. with a long beard and too much time on his hands has broken his own Guinness World Record by hanging 710 Christmas ornaments from his beard. Each ornament must be hooked to hair and not to another ornament and stay on without falling off until the last one is hung. He says the ornaments weigh a total of 5 pounds, but that's nothing compared to his other records, which include most golf tees in a beard, most forks in a beard, and most chopsticks in a beard. It took 2.5 hours to hang the 710 ornaments, an hour to take them off, and a whole day to get the song "Oh Christmas Tree" out of his head. Okay, so the man who holds the record for the most Christmas ornaments hanging from his beard at 710, real or bluff? What do you say, Karen?
I have to say it's real because, again, I think I've seen this picture.
Oh man, I need to talk to the research department here, or cut off your internet time. Okay,
Yeah,
Karen
cut
says
off
it's
my
real.
internet time.
All right, how about John? What do you say, John? Real or bluff?
I think it's a bluff because, how big can this person's beard be to have 700? Like, what would the size of these ornaments be? Are they miniatures? And even if they're miniatures, no, it's got to be a bluff. It's got to be a bluff.
Okay. All right. So John says it's a bluff. Karen says it's real. John's logic is that you can't have 710 of anything hanging from a beard. At least not my beard, I would say. But okay. So let's check with the judges. Karen says it's real. John says it's a bluff. Judges say, guess what? We end the year with Karen winning. That was definitely a bluff.
Oh, Karen, congratulations to you.
Real story. Yep. And John, they are little bulbs. They're little.
And
it's
John, you got to be on the internet more.
I guess I should. Wait 1 second. How long is this person's beard? I mean, can you give me a rough idea?
You know what?
Like a couple
He
feet?
had no photo. The ornaments themselves reached to well below, almost to his stomach. So I'm
Really?
going to guess that his beard was at least had to be that long because the rule was they had to be hooked directly to his hair. They could not daisy chain them
Right. Wow.
off of it.
So,
Yeah,
just-
and he does he does it every year. Every year he adds more to it. So every year he breaks his own record.
Any rough idea as to how long he's been growing this beard? Any
No,
idea?
no, I was already too bored with the story by that point. So
Well, and if you go out on the internet, this is a big thing that men do for Christmas.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's popular.
really,
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Really?
sell
Don't go-
ornaments and lights and tinsel.
don't go giving my grandnieces and nephews any ideas. I am not doing that, Karen.
Oh, they're gonna put them on your beard? Yeah, sure.
We'll be editing this out.
Hey, come on now. That's all right.
Hey, you know,
Wow. Really? Wow, that's amazing. I haven't seen that, but I don't get out much and I'm never on the internet.
I don't know. No, that's a tall tale. Yeah, that's a tall tale right there.
Yes, and I just lied enough times that Santa Claus moved me to the naughty list. So.
yes, he surely did.
Wrong side.
Absolutely.
The wrong side there.
Well, we've reached not only the end of another edition of What in the World, but also the end of 2022. So I want to really, from the bottom of my heart, thank Karen Hale, our producer, media mogul, and co-host on New Cleveland on What in the World, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net. Karen, thank you for a year's worth of all the things that you do for us at What in the World.
Absolutely.
We couldn't do it without you, and I hope you enjoy your holidays as well. As Adam Sandler says, we get 1 day, you get 8 crazy nights. So
Yes, we do.
and as always, I'll thank my old friend John Dinalo. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your lovely wife. And I will offer the same to everybody out there who's tuned in. All of our mutual friends and new friends around the world. Thank you so much for being fans of What in the World for the year 2022. We will be back in 2023 on the first Tuesday of the new year. I know John's hoping that I have some better Bigfoot photos. Maybe John, maybe you should ask Santa for that.
You know what? I can possibly, in fact, I'll ask him to see if he might be able to provide something that will finally bring this to rest and finally give me some peace of mind. Okay, that Bigfoot does exist.
Please let me know when you do that because I want to meet the Santa that lets you sit on his lap. That's
I don't think. Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to let me do that, but I'm going to make some kind of request. I'll have to make some kind of plea to him anyway. Say, hey, help me out here.
There you go. There you go. All right. Very good. On that note, I think we'll sign off for What in the World for 2022. Thanks again for everybody tuning in, and we'll see you next year.
We will.